China is shivering in extreme snowy conditions. Severe weather warnings are in place across Chinese regions as temperatures plummeted across the southern part of the country on Wednesday. Now, the authorities have renewed an orange alert. The country's weather department has emphasized that average temperatures could fall by 6 to 12 degrees Celsius by Friday in the southern regions. Currently, the mercury has dropped to 0 degrees in the region. The weather department has said that the snow and rain is expected to continue until next week. Local authorities have asked residents to take precautionary measures and called for action to protect crops and aquatic products. In Beijing, where temperatures hovered around freezing on Wednesday, residents woke up to find the capital blanketed in white following overnight snowfall. Meanwhile, highways in several cities in Hebei province were closed due to heavy snowfall, while bus services were suspended in Shaanxi province. Hundreds of trains remained cancelled in the Zhengzhou province. Bad weather forced the closure of almost 200 stretches of road nationwide. Now, according to a new report, China may miss all of its main climate goals for 2025. The world's largest emitter is increasingly reliant on carbon-intensive industries to bolster its economy. China has pledged to bring its carbon dioxide emissions to a peak by 2030 and to net zero by 2060. Under the Paris Climate Agreement, Beijing has also committed to a series of stepping stone targets. This includes cutting the carbon intensity of its economy and ensuring that by 2025, 20% of its energy comes from alternatives to fossil fuels. But as per a report by the Finland-based research center, the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, all of these targets are severely off track after 2023. Now, this is primarily because of China's rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic. Adverse weather conditions added to the problem. A series of droughts have pushed hydropower production to its lowest levels in over 2 decades. Consequently, China needs to achieve a record fall of 4 to 6% in emissions to reach its stated carbon intensity target for 2025. However, the report added that China could still hit a few of the next year's goals if it continues to build on renewable energy installations. But China has struggled to sustain its economic rebound since the pandemic. The world's number 2 economy grew at 5.2% last year, one of its slowest rates in decades. At least 16 people were killed and several others injured in a landslide at an illegal gold mine in Venezuela. The landslide occurred in a rural area in Bolivar state. The open-pit gold mine collapsed in the jungles of southern Venezuela. The incident occurred at the Bula Loca mine in the state of Bolivar. Relief teams and rescue workers have been dispatched to the area, but officials have given conflicting accounts of the number of people dead. The Bolivar State Secretary of Citizen Security said 16 people have lost their lives, while the mayor of the affected area said that the collapse may have killed as many as 25 people. The mayor also estimated that hundreds are still trapped in the collapsed mine. He said, due to the region's remoteness, there are conflicting reports on the scale of the incident. The area is a 7-hour boat ride from the nearest town, La Paragua, where family members continue to wait anxiously for news. Thousands of miners extract minerals at mine sites in the region without state regulation. Environmental experts have noted in the past that accidents frequently occur in regions where sand shifts easily.
That was something terrifying. Seeing the numbers of colleagues who are buried and others who have only their necks and heads left. One would not want a companion, a human being, to die like that in reality. We made it. A few were saved. There are a few wounded. But there are still a number of dead who have not been taken out, who are buried there, and they are still being taken out, I think.
Weeks of dry winter weather have raised concerns for southern Europe and northern Africa. Now, according to EU's Copernicus climate change service, drought plaguing the Mediterranean has failed to recede over winter months that brought below average rainfall. Now, the report states over the first 10 days of February, over 45% of southern Europe suffered from soil drought, with few of them reaching the highest alert level. Meanwhile, a quarter of all Europe and northern Africa is under drought conditions. Some 19% of the region's soil is at a warning level, meaning a moisture deficit is underway. Warmer than usual seasonal temperatures are the culprit behind the drier weather. Due to this, the situation has worsened since the end of January, but it has slightly improved compared with the same period last year. The western Mediterranean region has been particularly hard hit, including southern Italy, Spain, northern Morocco, Algeria and Tunisia. In France, southern regions faced very worrying levels of groundwater, its main reserve for drinking water. The Italian island of Sicily declared a drought emergency at the beginning of February, while in Sardinia, farmers were slapped with restrictions on water use. In Morocco, the country is experiencing its sixth consecutive year of drought, and in recent days, the temperatures approached 37 degrees Celsius. Baleen whales, one of the most majestic animals on the planet, have evolved a special voice box to help them to sing underwater. But new research shows their unique ability has made them vulnerable to being drowned out by human noise pollution. But the scientists also found a potentially serious challenge for the whales, the struggle to make themselves heard over noise pollution from ships. Computer models showed that baleen whale songs can travel long distances through water, but at a maximum depth of 100 meters and at a frequency of up to 300 hertz. This falls within the range noise made by shipping vessels. This means that whales in a noisy ocean soundscape are essentially trying to talk across a busy motorway or at a loud party. The further away you are, the less you'll be able to hear. Noise pollution can force whales to change their behavior, such as remaining silent until quiet returns, moving to another location, or trying to communicate over the noise. The latter two require whales to exert extra energy, potentially weakening their body condition and affecting long-term survival. This is particularly important at mating sites, where, depending on the season, noise pollution can disrupt reproduction. The harm goes beyond whales. There is evidence that scores of marine species are negatively affected by underwater noise pollution, impacting the entire marine ecosystem. That's all we have for now on Climate Tracker, but stick with us because we'll get you more news from around the world.